My fiance cheated on me with my father. Me, 27 male. Fiance, 26 female. Call her L. My father, 52 male. Call him B. My mother, 50 female. Call her R. Like many who've had something like this happen, I've never thought something like this would happen to me. But here we are. From listening to some other stories, you all like backstory. Oh yes, we do. So I'll try and be as clear and precise as I can, but it's only been a week, so if I start to lose it during the telling of this, I'm sorry. You are forgiven. Elle and I met in her freshman year of college. We were both dorm in the same building where we eventually met. We later found out we lived 2 towns away from each other, so whenever we went home, I let her drive with me. It only added like 20 minutes, so it was no big deal. After multiple trips and hanging out at school, we started to date. I have a close-knit family, and so did she. So we told our families right away. I had met hers plenty of times when dropping her off, but it was nothing more than an introduction and exchanging pleasantries. Both of our families accepted each other with open arms, and our relationship grew. I was a year ahead of her, so when I graduated, I went home where I was offered a good job with great pay. I visited her at school whenever I got the chance, and whenever she came home, we would make time for each other. After she graduated, she moved in with me, as both our jobs were in the city near where we grew up. Like me, she was offered a position at the company she works at now with great pay. After living together for about 3 years, I proposed, and we've been planning our wedding ever since. Now onto the part you're all reading for. Looking back, there was plenty of things I overlooked that I just wrote off thinking my father was just trying to welcome my ex into our family. Things like my father calling her all the time. And if I was around, they would just tell me they were talking about the upcoming family party or something along those lines. One time, Elle was in the shower and her phone rang and I saw it was my dad. So I answered, and when he realized it was me, he sounded both upset and surprised that I picked up. I then answered, "What's up?" He responded that he wanted to talk to Elle about my mother's birthday that was in a week, and after a minute, we ended the call. Even typing this out now, I feel like an idiot for not seeing it sooner. I mean, I think hindsight is 20/20. It's easy to look back now and be like, oh, that was weird. Yeah, that makes sense now. But like, there's a 25-year age gap. Like, this doesn't happen every day. He's your dad. Is anyone else kind of curious what he looks like? I'm sorry. I don't mean to be like that. It's just like, I am curious, you know? Like, how's that possible that you were able to like convince someone that this was a good idea? On the day I found out, it was like any other day. Elle had Thursdays off, so she made breakfast for both of us. When I set out for work, she gave me a kiss and told me to have a great day. During my drive to work, I realized I'd forgotten some paperwork that I would need for a meeting I had at 3 p.m. Ooh. I shrugged it off and told myself I would just go home at lunch to get it. Elle texted me throughout the day talking about all the casual stuff, a couple talks about like, what do you want for dinner? I did the laundry. Do you want me to hang it up for you? Blah, blah, blah. I didn't think it was necessary to text her I was coming home for lunch, so when it came around, I left work and went home. When I got home, I noticed a car that looked like my father's in our parking lot, but I didn't think anything of it and just parked and went to our building. When I opened the door, I was met with a scene out of a movie where a man comes home early and catches his spouse cheating. Such a cliche. There was a trail of clothes, both his and hers, leading to my bedroom, and the sound of faint moans echoed through my apartment. Ooh. I stood at the door in utter shock. My brain was a mix of rage, sadness, and disgust, but when you're a fly on the wall, you would see what looked like a statue. I just couldn't move. When I finally came to, not knowing how much time had passed, I took out my phone to record. I picked up all the clothes that were on the floor and threw them into the hall of the building. After I filmed the walk to my bedroom, the door was open, and I stood in the doorway filming for about a minute, then flipped the lights on. They both jumped at the sudden light and looked at me, and to my utter shock, it was my father in the bed with her. After the initial stun, my father noticed I was recording and started to panic. I love how he was more worried about you recording. It's interesting that the panic heightened when he saw you were recording. Because he knows it's embarrassing. He doesn't care about you. He cares about other people knowing. So he started to panic, trying to find anything to cover himself and telling me to stop recording. He found a towel, wrapped it around himself, and started to walk toward me. I told him, if you don't want to get hurt, stop coming toward me. And he either didn't care or didn't hear me and reached for my phone. I hit him square in the jaw. and his head bounced off the door and slumped to the ground. Elle shrieked. I aimed the camera at Elle and said, concerned about your dancing partner, but nothing to say to your fiance. Ooh, clock it. My father woke up after about a minute of a nap, but he takes a nap. And I told him I needed to come pick something up from work, so I'm headed back now. And if either of you pieces of are here when I get back, I'll send this video to everyone you know. I ended the video, looked at my dad, who was still coming to, and said, you're dead to me. You're no longer my father, but you might want to go home and talk to mom because I'll be talking to her very soon. I sat in my car for a while until one of the bosses at work called to ask where I was. I told her I was on my way back. When I got to her office to hand in the paperwork, I must have looked awful because she started asking what was wrong with me. I told her it was nothing and I'd be okay. I could see her scanning me up and down. She noticed some on my collar and stood up and rushed to say, you're bleeding. I looked down and said it was my father's, and she looked confused, so I pulled out my phone and showed her the video. She watched it in its entirety. She was introduced to Elle a few times but never met my father. She sat there silent for a moment until it finally clicked that my fiance was cheating on me. But not only was she cheating with my father. I still have a hard time even saying that out loud. That is crazy. I'm so sorry that happened, OP. She asked if there was anything she could do, suggesting I take some time off, but I told her I can't go back there right now, that I need a minute and I'd be fine for the meeting, and I have another shirt in my office. The meeting went over fine. I put a smile on for everyone like nothing happened. My boss came up to me after the meeting and said, how could I do that? But I just said, I don't know, and I went to my office. Then I came home and I was alone for the first time in a very long time. Thank you for reading. I'm sorry I carried on so much, but it was therapeutic getting everything down. I don't know what to do, and I definitely need to get the hell out of this apartment. I just can't live here anymore, and there's no possible way I'm sleeping in that bed. Yeah, no kidding. I know not only do I have to get checked for diseases, but I think I broke something in my hand. Ooh, you should see the other guy. What a horrible thing to have to go through. I have to say, that is so messed up. But did you tell your mom? So we do have an update.